Let's all aboard for the great outdoors. Though common sense is clearly missing, so let's all bushwhack off the beaten path. Come on, we're going challenge fishing. Welcome, one and all, to the 10th anniversary show of Fishing Challenge, the program that boldly goes where no outdoor show has ever wanted to go before. Come along now as we join our host, that world-renowned fisherman, author, tackle salesman, weapons expert, exotic dancer, and all-around swell guy, Sid Jenkins. Yes, Sid's got 3 new fishing challenges for you, some great fishing tips, our viewer mailbag, and even another meeting of the Minnows Club. So sit back and relax. It's time for Fishing Challenge. Fishing Challenge is brought to you by Idaho Tater Bait, the bait the pros use to make any fishing trip a fishing challenge. By Mystery Lures, you're catching fish with these things. It's a mystery to us. By Road Ready Flat Snacks, try our new Squirrel Squares. Available in 2 exciting flavors, Hot Top and Extra Gravel. And now, here's your host, Sid Jenkins. Well, hi everybody, and welcome again to Fishing Challenge. You know, this is a perfect day for a fishing challenge. The wind's about 45 miles out of the northeast. The water conditions are terrible. And when you really stop and think about some of the places we're going to fish today, it really doesn't seem like we have much of a chance. Well, you know, that's what Fishing Challenge is really all about. When you get right down to it, if you're out there fishing on a pristine lake, perfect conditions, everything looking just about as good as it can be, you're using the perfect tackle, the perfect bait, fishing at the best time of day. Well, stop and think about it. Now, how can you really fail to catch fish? It's fun, but where's the challenge? Now, a lot of our good friends have written in and said, well, look, if you want a real challenge, the challenge is actually to catch fish where no one else is catching fish. And why don't you fish some of the more unusual spots? Well, some folks wrote in and said, why don't you try places like the North River in Salem? Or maybe 3 Mile Island? One clever little minute wrote in and said, gee, why don't you try a reverse fishing contest? Well, we actually went out and did that. We'll be back. All the wind's picking up. This looks like it's going to be a great fishing challenge. The small craft advisories are out. Looks just about hopeless. Stay tuned. Well, I have to tell you, the police sure were helpful giving us an escort on such a windy day. We really appreciated it. Oh, look over there. There go my neighbors. There goes my sign. There goes my boat. Hey, there goes my house. Wow, will you look at that? It's heading straight for Marblehead. Well, what do you know about that? This isn't so bad after all. No way I can avoid getting beachfront property now. Of course, parking is gonna be a bit of a problem at high tide, but hey, I'll worry about that later. Oh, what's that? Hey, well, I'm told that we have a live hookup to our commuter boat out in the harbor, so why don't we go to that right now? Anybody there? Yeah? Okay. Abandoned ship! Every man front seem to have temporarily lost our connection there. Oh, let's see how our other remote crew is doing out at Devereaux Beach. Where is that button? Oh, there it is. And my goodness, it sure does look a little choppy out there. The wind's picking up some of that white water. And will you look at that? Well, that's as far as our shuttle boat got. I'm sure glad everybody made it to shore safely. Well, would you look at them. Kids, I want to take a moment here to remind you that you should never, ever do this. Remember, these swimmers are adults, and I can tell you from personal experience that it takes years of practice to make a person this stupid. Well, evidently one of them is going to try to body surf through the patio and clear up to the snack bar. And... ooh, that must have really hurt. Well, while the lifeguards look for him, let's head out to the harbor. Well, here we are at the dock, and as our crew prepares to cast off, you can tell by the expressions on their faces that they're really looking forward to this fishing challenge. Hurricane Bob is moving offshore real fast, so my crew and I had to skip breakfast and hurry out to our fishing tug before old Bob could get away. Nothing fancy about our tackle, just rental rods and the usual buckets of raw sea clams that the party boats give us. Hey, this bucket's empty. So's this one. Oh, don't tell me you guys ate the clams. No one can be that hungry. And the way this boat's rocking back and forth and back and forth and... Good. Serves you right. Sorry, folks. We're going to have to return to the dock and figure out a way to catch up to Hurricane Bob further out to sea. Please watch these messages from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with this week's viewer mailbag. Okay, let's head in, Captain. I can't believe you guys ate the bait. Jeez. Attention fishermen everywhere. Stop and think about it. Today's fish have seen every lure on the market a dozen times, and they're not biting. Well, that's where mystery lures can help. Look at these selections. Each one guaranteed to make any fish that saw one wonder, what the hell was that?
There's Big Red, irresistible to vegetarian crappie and those Italian pizza bass everyone is fishing for. The Sweetheart Lure and Locket Set, always a lady's favorite. Big Ben, time's up, fish. The Gasser, perfect for jigging in ponds that have a lot of sunken cars. The Charger, perfect for deep sea fishing at any George's Banks or ATMs. The Slider, a pitch any fish is sure to hit. The Persuader, you're in the middle of the lake when you realize your guide has eaten all of the bait. What will you do? What will you do? You brain the fish with this monster, that's what you do.
So remember, if catching fish is a mystery to you, then Mystery Lures has the tackle you've been waiting for.
Important fishing tip number 1. Don't abuse your tackle. Remember that it's important to treat your tackle with respect, especially those new inflatable rubber worms everyone is using. So don't be like this moron. Avoid temptation. Besides, it not only makes the worms shiny, but it can really dull the hook. To do a viewer mailbag kind of twist this time around, we realized that when you write in, well, not only, of course, do you know where we are, but we know where you are. So we thought, well, gee, let's find out what some of our fishing challenge buddies are doing out there. So we sent one of our crack staff down, wrote in, this is Ann Roberts, 49 Elm Road, Pine Barren, New Jersey. And we sent Cindy down, and she hid in the bushes waiting for the mail truck. And she was able to get Ann's mail before Ann was. So for a real twist on viewer mailbag, let's see what this viewer has for mail. Don't worry, we will get this back to her eventually. Okay, it must have been a Monday. Tons of mail. All right, Ann. Well, we got a postcard from Maine. It's kind of pretty. Bill. Adverts. Letters. Bills. More bills. TV guide. All right, Ann. This is what we like to see here on Fishing Challenge. Good Fishing Magazine. And one more thing. What do we... Ann! Well, wasn't expecting this. This is for, yes, it's for Ann Roberts. All right. Excuse old Sid here a second. Peruse a bit. It's got to be, you know, there's some great fishing articles in here I found. Turn the porch light on, kids. Daddy's coming home late tonight. Well, don't worry, we'll get all of this back to Ann. We were just kind of curious to see what she was up to. Anything else? Well, I have her letter here somewhere. Well, here it is. She filled out one of the nice little forms we send out. And she was asking, when are we going to have that sludge fishing contest again? Well, Ann, we had it 2 years in a row, but as much fun as it was, even using the best tater bait and mystery lures we could find, you know, we just didn't catch anything at low tide. And there really is a difference between fishing challenge and fishing moron. And that also goes for number 2, fishing Niagara Falls. The current's just a little too strong there. We did try. We must have been feeling real good to be trying that. And fishing Yellowstone. Fishing Yellowstone worked out very well, but this little bit about fishing Old Faithful Geyser was a waste of time. Well, that's kind of it for viewer mailbag.
Boy, I'll tell you, we sure were lucky that our friends in the military agreed to help us out. In order to rendezvous with one of the Navy's new Incontinence-class light cruisers, the USS Happy, the crew of this Coast Guard fishing patrol plane is taking me into the eye of Hurricane Bob so that I can hand glide down to the ship. Wow, just look at all this high-tech fishing gear. On our way out, we asked some of the crew, what do you like most about Fishing Challenge?
Sometimes it's not always pleasant, but it's always interesting. Almost always interesting.
How common are fishing trips like this one?
You don't see many like this.
What does the eye of a hurricane look like?
Okay, we're just coming into the edge now.
How's the water look down there?
Jeez, look at that water up there.
Well, rough or not, I'm ready. So, wish me luck. Well, here we are out on the USS Happy, and I'd like to extend our special thanks to its Captain Johnson Quigg and First Officer Van McMurray.
As you can see, these remarkable seamen know all of the tricks to keeping the course steady and making sure of the safety of both the ship and the crew. Well, now's as good a time as any, so let's get those lines into the water. Hey, I've got one! Wow, what a fish! It feels like a whale! It is a whale! Oh, and me with this stupid unbreakable line. Yikes! Oh, I think it's definitely time for a different fishing challenge. Help! Help, Mr. Wizard!
Listen, Drum. Time for this one to come home.
Oh, hi again, folks. You know, every fisherman knows that whether you're out there chasing that great big marlin, deep sea fishing, or you're just at a local pond, or you're just fishing around the house, there's nothing more important than a good bait. So, here's a word from our friends at Idaho Tater Bait. Yeah, all right. Hey, honey, I got the one that bit ya.
Yes, whether you're trying to chase a lunker bass out of deep cover or just knock a bluegill senseless, Idaho tater baits are the ones the pros use to turn any fishing trip into a fishing challenge. Available in 2 convenient sizes, there's Mr. T for bass and Little Spud for sunfish. That's right, that's Idaho tater baits, available at produce counters everywhere.
Well, after our adventures with Hurricane Bob, you'd think anything had to be easier, wouldn't you? Well, that's what we thought, and boy, were we wrong. I tell you, this polluted excuse for a river recently made it to number 2 on the Environmental Protection Agency's list of most worthless bodies of water in America. And the only reason it failed to reach number 1 was that last year the Monongahela River in Ohio actually managed to set itself afire in downtown Cleveland. When we stopped to consider that fire officials used it for a water supply, well, that turned out to be a real paradox. Well, Salem's North River may not be as flammable, but it sure is an acidic mess. Look at these birds here, just after they dove into it, chasing something they had mistaken for food. Now, just 5 minutes later, this is all that's left. Well, we tried fishing for some caustic carp, but our hooks, lines, sinkers, and bait didn't fare any better than these poor birds did. They just smoldered a while and then were gone. In our search for any creature that could survive the ravages of life in a river that has the consistency of Drano, we were able to film this rare North River tiger rat leaving its lair. I was lucky today. I got back to the Land Rover just as the tiger rat unexpectedly turned on us and attacked our cameraman. Yes, this is the way we all prefer to see our furry little friends. But in this age of compulsive recycling, if one of them gets a little too close to the traffic, well, we here at Road Ready make sure that this accident doesn't go to waste, and that our small forest buddies come back to the food chain again as delicious Road Ready flat snacks like these squirrel squares.
Love those flat snacks.
Available everywhere from Road Ready, a division of Blender Products Incorporated. Well, hi again, kids, and welcome to my favorite part of the show. Yes, it's time for Uncle Sid's Minnows Club. Today I'm going to read some of the many letters that have come pouring in and answer some of your neat questions. But first, it's my pleasure to announce that we have another winner in our Dead Presidents contest. Remember, kids, that's the fun contest where all you have to do is wait for your parents to go to sleep and look through their clothes and stuff and send Uncle Sid all the pictures of the dead presidents that you can find. Every month we'll have a winner and you can win tons of way cool stuff. Maybe even an autographed thank you card from Uncle Sid himself. Remember, you get extra credit for Presidents Cleveland and Grant. And don't worry about those pictures of Franklin and Hamilton. Even though they weren't really presidents, they still count for this contest. Our winner this month is Richie Taylor of Mayberry, North Carolina. This impressive group of pictures of President Jefferson sure surprised Uncle Sid and helped him a lot at the $2 window out where the doggies run around in circles. Congratulations, Richie. Your surprise prize is a 10-pound bag of tater bait. And you should be getting that real soon. Great work, Richie. Now let's check out some of those letters and see what questions you've got for old Uncle Sid this time around. Question is a real interesting one, sent in to us by little Alan Kant, and it says, Uncle Sid, is there any way to combine fly fishing with net fishing? Well, Alan, I have to admit, you win a prize for originality with this question. Old Uncle Sid had to do a lot of research, and to find the answer, I ended up talking to the folks over at the Nuclear Regulatory Committee, and they sent us this film to watch. The only way to combine fly fishing and net fishing, curiously enough, is to blow the fish out of the water and then try to net them as they fly by. Now, here's the crew of the 7th Fleet's fishing squad. Here's the countdown. Wow, what a blast, huh, kids? Boy. Well, there are the fishing boats right near the blast center, and now let's see them get their nets in the air. And here come the fish.
Here they come!
Wow, what a beauty! Unfortunately, this type of fishing got banned by the Helsinki Accords of 1952 because the big problem was that, well, it was awfully hard and awfully rare to catch an entire fish, and even when you did, it was already cooked. But thank you for that real interesting question there. Alice Hagel writes, Uncle Sid, do the fish ever get mad and attack fishermen? Yes, Alice, I'm afraid they do. And here's some top-secret videotape the Navy sent us from Florida where vicious gangs of fish began blowing up party fishing boats like these using explosives the government lost during the invasions of Grenada and Panama. Well, luckily for us, the Navy heavily outgunned the fishy varmints and solved the problem the American way. Now, here's my helper, Adria, to tell all you little minnows where to write to Uncle Sid.
Kids, send your letters to Uncle Sid's Minnows Club in care of Fishing Challenge, P.O. Box 2774, Audreysboro, Minnesota 99701.
Important fishing tip number 2. One of the questions that I get asked an awful lot by our viewers is, when using live minnows, how much leader and how much lead should they use? Well, I've got to tell you, folks, that by and large, if you're catching fish, well, don't worry too much about this question. Just keep on doing what you're doing. But if you've been out on the pond all day and the fish just ain't biting, well, this is what old Sid does. Now, I like to tie the minnow about 6 inches from the bobber so that it'll coax the bass or the catfish up near the surface for a laugh. Then once the fish I'm after is hanging around the bobber trying to figure out what in the world is going on, I use a standard 30-06 Teflon coated lead to really teach the fish a lesson they'll never forget. So does Mrs. Sid. Hey, good shot there, honey. That catfish won't dog us again.
We are on the shores of beautiful Lake Humpachoggy, New Hampshire, just in time for the 92 ladies tourney. They had some interesting fishing challenges of their own this time around, as this youngster here shows us his winning form in the slap yourself upside the head with a fish contest. Cute little minnow. Yeah, the folks up here have so many great events each year during the Granite State's annual Sledgeheads Festival. We saw people bobbing for crabs and having a good time at the amphibian kissing booth. Here's a secret fishing map that one of the locals sold us, and we even got to enter an exciting yacht race over the Lake Humpachoggy Falls. After the judging of the origami boat building events, our camera crew shot this footage of Susan Underhill casting out her 3-pound largemouth bass and reeling in this top prize clinching shiner. Boy, that shiner must have really been hungry. Just look at the gut on that thing. Wow! I tell you, these New Hampshire sportsmen sure have a style all their own.
If you'd like to appear on Fishing Challenge, just call one of our beautiful subcontracted operators.
Hi, my name's Heather. Call 1-900-532-9000. I want to talk to you. I'll be waiting.
That's $340 for the first minute, $179 each additional minute. Kids, be sure not to tell anybody. Call now.
Well, I can't believe the way our time has just flown by here today, but I can see by Flipper's fins that it's just about time to go. But not to worry, folks. We're going to be back here next month with tons more unbelievable stuff. Heck, we might even catch a fish. So be sure to be with us next time when our fishing challenges are going to include fishing the Bermuda Triangle, and we're going to have the final results of that Tri-City fishing around the house tourney we've been running a while. Good luck to you folks from Swampscott. Hope you can make a better showing than last year. And as always, we'll have tons of fun stuff for the small fry in the Minnows Club. So this is your old friend Sid Jenkins reminding you, if the challenge is missing, then it ain't worth the fishing. Good luck to you one and all, and if you fish like me, you're gonna need it. See you next time.
Oh, well, it's all aboard for the great outdoors, though common sense is clearly missing. So let's all bushwhack off the beaten path. Come on, we're going challenge fishing.